You're driving home from work. Red lights flash in your mirror. A routine traffic stop, right? Wrong. The officer approaches your window and drops these words. I'm calling for a K-9 unit. Your heart races, your palms sweat. What you say in the next 10 seconds will literally determine whether you drive away free or whether police search your entire vehicle, tearing it apart, looking through your belongings, and potentially destroying your rights. I'm a criminal defense attorney. Today, I'm breaking down the exact strategy that has helped hundreds of my clients protect themselves during police encounters. Here's what most people don't realize. When a cop says, I'm calling for a K-9, they're making a calculated move. They're trying to buy time. They're trying to develop probable cause. And they're hoping you'll panic, get nervous, or give them permission to search. But here's the truth. There are legal words that instantly change the entire dynamic of this encounter. Most drivers freeze. They get anxious. They think cooperating is the safest option. It's not. Reveal the strategy. The 3 words you need to say are, I do not consent. Not maybe, not I'm not sure, not explaining yourself. Just those 3 words. Clear, direct, powerful. But here's where people mess up. They don't know how to say it. So let me break this down into 3 critical steps that transform you from a victim of police tactics into someone who actually knows the law. Case example number 1. Last year, I represented a client. Let's call him Marcus, who got pulled over for a broken taillight. The officer smelled something suspicious and immediately radioed for a K-9. Marcus panicked. He said, Officer, I have nothing to hide. You can search if you want. Big mistake. That K-9 arrived. It alerted on his car, even though there was nothing illegal inside. His car was torn apart. His day was ruined. And here's the kicker. Later, we discovered that K-9 had a 23% false positive rate. But by then, it was too late. The lesson? Never give permission, ever. Step 1. The verbal refusal. When the officer says, I'm calling for a K-9, do not stay silent. Silence can be interpreted as consent. Instead, you need to clearly state, Officer, I do not consent to any search of my vehicle, my belongings, or my person. Why is this important? Because courts look at whether you explicitly refused. A clear verbal refusal creates what's called a Fourth Amendment protection. It's your constitutional shield. And here's what you do not say. Don't say, I know my rights. Don't say, I want a lawyer. Actually, do say that later, but not right now. Don't get argumentative. Don't raise your voice. Stay calm. Stay polite. Be the adult in the room. Step 2. The passive compliance strategy. After you've stated you don't consent, here's the critical part. You now use strategic silence. The officer will try to engage you. They'll ask questions. Do you have anything illegal in the car? Silence. Have you been drinking? Silence. Where are you coming from? That one you can answer where you're coming from is factual, not incriminating. But this is crucial. You can also say, I'd like to speak to my attorney before answering any further questions. This is your magic phrase. Not demanding, not rude, just factual. Why does this work? Because now the officer knows you're not cooperating, but you're also not being hostile. Most officers will call the K-9. That's fine. Let them. Here's why. While you're waiting, nothing you say or do can be used against you if you've invoked your right to counsel. Case example number 2. I had another client, Sarah, who did exactly this. Traffic stop. The officer said, K-9 incoming. Sarah calmly said, Officer, I don't consent to a search. I'd like to speak with my attorney. The officer waited 45 minutes for the K-9. The dog arrived. It alerted. Her car was searched. Nothing was found. But here's what happened next. We challenged the legality of that K-9 sniff. The officer didn't have reasonable suspicion to extend the traffic stop beyond its original purpose. The search was ruled illegal. Evidence thrown out, case dismissed. That's the power of knowing your rights. Step 3. Document everything. The third step happens after the encounter. Get the officer's badge number, get their name, write down the time. Write down what they said. If there's a dash cam or traffic cam, make note of it. If there were witnesses, get their contact info. Why? Because if the search was illegal, or if the K-9 is unreliable, you now have the documentation to fight back. Legal framework. Here's the legal framework you need to understand. The Supreme Court case Rodriguez versus the United States established that police cannot extend a traffic stop beyond its original purpose just to wait for a drug dog, unless they have reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. What's reasonable suspicion? It's more than a hunch, but less than probable cause. An officer smelling something suspicious is not enough. It's too vague. It's too subjective. So when you say, "I do not consent," you're invoking this protection. You're forcing the cop to make a decision. Either they have real reasonable suspicion or they need to let you go. Critical warning. Now, here's what you don't do. You don't physically resist. You don't reach for anything. You don't make sudden movements. If the officer says, "Step out of the vehicle," you step out. If they say, "Hands on the hood," you comply. Why? Because resisting can turn a minor traffic stop into a felony. Your refusal to consent is verbal. Your compliance is physical. Those are two different things. The law respects this distinction. You don't resist physically, but you do refuse verbally. Got it? Real-world impact. Let me be very clear about something. I have seen innocent people have their cars torn apart, their privacy violated, their dignity stripped away, all because they didn't know these 3 words. I do not consent. I've also seen guilty people go free because the search was ruled illegal. This isn't about guilt or innocence. This is about your constitutional rights. This is about being treated like a human being, not like a suspect. The police have a job to do. I respect that. But your job is to protect yourself. And you can do that while still being respectful, calm, and compliant. Bonus tip. Here's a bonus that most people don't know. If the K-9 does arrive and does search your car, do not answer questions afterward without your attorney present. The officer will try to get you to explain things. Don't. Say those magic words again. "I'd like to speak with an attorney before I answer any questions." This is not an admission of guilt. This is wisdom. If you've been in this situation, or if you're facing charges based on a K-9 search, you need to speak with a criminal defense attorney immediately. Why? Because there's a limited window to challenge the legality of that search. And if you wait, you could lose your rights forever. Before you go, I want to know, have you ever been in a traffic stop where police tried to search your vehicle? Drop your story in the comments below. And if this video helped you understand your rights, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on how to protect yourself during police encounters. We're building a community of people who actually know the law. Be part of it. Your rights are only valuable if you use them. So educate yourself. Share this video with friends and family, and remember, you have power in these situations. You just need to know how to use it. Stay informed, stay protected. I'll see you in the next video.